In LocumDeck, you have autonomy to set the work that you want to offer. One of the ways of defining your work and terms is to create your own session types and set your own fee. Start creating a session by clicking the plus button, and you'll see that there are some basic parameters to select around the type of session based on when in the day it's going to be, morning, afternoon, etc. Then starts and finish times. And down here you can mark whether you're prepared to offer on-call duties or home visits. Or if it's not relevant to the work setting that you're in, you can choose not to show these. Going back to the session description, you can add up to 100 characters of free text to describe your preferred session structure. We give you some tips on the factors you might like to consider, such as how many appointments, the type of contact, whether it's face-to-face telephone, the length of each appointment, whether you need any catch-up slots, whether you're carrying out your own admin work or can manage tasks generated by others in the practice. Here's an example of what a session structure could look like. But you have the flexibility to add whatever level of detail you need. If this is a session for a practice where you both know each other well, it might be sufficient to be less specific. Some people just write GP work. So long as you and the practice have a shared understanding of the work agreed, it's about clarity of communication and agreeing your safe working limits for an agreed fee. On setting your fees, charging by hourly rate or by session is usually a matter of personal preference. As a guide, if you anticipate some flexibility in the duration of the assignment, then using hourly rates may be easier because it will allow you to easily amend your total fee by adjusting the finishing time. But if you prefer to work to a defined workload, then a session fee may be better, and most locums using LocumDeck seem to prefer session rates. There is one situation on LocumDeck where it's definitely better to use a sessional rate, and that is if you're setting up an all-day session type and you're structuring this with a break in the middle. In this case, it's best to charge by the session and add your all-day rate, because then you're not charging the practice for your break time. I can't talk directly about fee rates, but there is information on the NESGP website about how to approach setting your rates and the factors to consider in covering your costs as a self-employed professional. So when finished, click Save, and you'll see that your session is added to the list here. And you can create as many of these sessions as you like. You can edit them, and you can set which ones you want to use at the level of each practice record, or tick this box if there's a favourite session that you want to use across all your practices. And then these sessions can be used throughout the system when you're adding and confirming your own bookings, or if you're setting up to get booked by practices using Instant Book.